I thought I'd bring back the hell of the 1980s.
You awake to find yourself in a dark room.
Aha!
Yo!
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah, good, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. Let me just switch over to that. There he is, you can all see him on Twitch. Say hello to Twitch, John.
Hello, sweethearts. Hey!
How's it
You
going,
hear me
mate?
okay?
Yeah.
I'm good, I'm good. You're not echoing back, are you?
No, it sounds good this side.
Lucky.
How's
Great.
How's your cake?
Delicious. A little heavy at this hour of the day. Maybe a little 6 months out of date.
Oh, it's what's the word? Aged to perfection.
Of course, yeah, like a fine wine, a fine
Yes.
bready, chocolatey wine.
Lovely. Yeah, I was watching the wobbly cake stream.
Yeah, that was fun. It was fun to do.
So this 48-hour stream you did,
Oh, yes.
where the hell did that idea come from?
Well, I've got, I got mates who, run marathons, and I got a mate who does, Mark Watson does the 24-hour to 27-hour show. And it occurs to me that, like, streamers do marathons all the time. And then I was like, well, if I do a streaming marathon for a day, there's nothing special in that. And then I looked up how long the NHS workers were going, and I was like, all right, well, we'll just make it 2 days. That just sounds like a good number. And it is. I mean, as it turns out, I mean, nobody knew this, but if you leave a stream running for 48 hours, Twitch shuts it off at 48 hours, which I found out halfway through saying goodbye to everybody at the end. We actually went longer than 48, which is nice.
Yeah, I gotta confess that we were watching the end of the stream on my stream, and we saw it all go off, and then it reappeared again. But
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
no.
That's not. Thank you very much for watching. And I mean, as far as confessions go, that's not the worst confession at any point, even close.
Well, it was something that I had to share because something along them lines is something monumental, and the amount of money you raised was ridiculous.
Yes, thank you. Well, that's the people who paid it, which is awesome of them. Yeah, in the end about 25 grand, which I think comes in. I can't quite recall the math, but it's something very good for the NHS and something very good for Mind as well. And it was nice to do, for something where all I had to do was just kind of stand there and shout and talk to friends of mine. It's fun.
Yeah. You were raising for both. You raised, what was the final total on each?
Well, that was the thing I just said. I'm not entirely certain.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, at last check, it was something like 13 and then 7. But then we've got to add in the gift aid and the money from Twitch.
Yeah, the subs and the bits into that as well.
Yeah, so it might be closer to being like 15 and 10.
Jesus.
So that's pretty good. Yeah, not bad.
So what sort of preparation goes into leading up to a 48-hour stream? Because the longest one I've done, I did a 29 for the charity run that I'm running at the minute. And that was late nights, lots of sleep through the day just to get the body clock in check. But 48 hours, I can't even fathom how the hell you get your head into that gear.
Well, I mean, like, I didn't really think about it that much. Every time I go off to do something, I'm so poor at time management that, like, you show up and you spend most of the day trying to deal with the fact that you can't see the cursor on screen or something, like there's like one tiny iota and then it's just time to go. So you just have to go and just do it, which is a nice way of not having to, not having to overthink. But yeah, I carved up. I had a fuckload of pasta in the days going up to it, and I mean, Jessica, whose studio it was we used, she pointed out that I'd probably been awake about at least 56 hours because I didn't sleep during the stream, and by the time I'd shown up at her house, it was very clear I hadn't slept much the night before. So there's an old Australian comic strip called Ginger Megs, where a kid challenges another kid and says, "Why don't you and I?" And you can see how old this joke is. You know, it's like, why don't you and I go round the milk, round the milk bar, and I challenge you to eat 10 ice cream sundaes, right? And he goes around and he eats 10 ice cream sundaes, and they're like, "My God, Ginger, how did you know you could eat 10 ice cream sundaes?" And he went, "Oh, well, I went around there an hour ago and did it then." You know, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. It's like, yeah, well, I was awake anyway. Stay awake another 2 days. It's fine.
As you do.
Well, not that often. I mean, the last time I stayed awake 48 hours, I ended up at a party that suddenly turned out to have a bloody S&M slave auction out the back of it. Nobody told me that was going to happen.
Jesus.
Fortunately, I didn't get up on the bloody auction block, or I might have, found myself in a dream I didn't expect myself to be in. But I did meet a young lady at that thing who I'd been talking to beforehand, and I was I was 18. I was just all wonky, like teenage stuff anyway at the best of times, and I was just very, very tired. And I didn't realize she was coming on to me. I just thought this person was talking to me. And then she got up, apparently, on the auction block, didn't get bid on, came downstairs, and then just walked over to me and went, "Why didn't you bid on me?" Crack.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
So I had a little sleep around that point.
No,
So if anything, like this was, well, I mean, I didn't, my face wasn't bruised by this one. And I'm not going to, and also I'm not going to lie and say that 48 hours was easy, because, I mean, like, you got NHS workers on call. I think it's 36 hours, 12-hour shifts,
Yeah.
and you've got the people working for Mind, who of course have to be there dead of night. Like I'm talking specifically about the let alone anybody else. I'm talking specifically about the people working their call centers. Like, you're sitting there at 3 a.m. Someone rings up. They say they're going to kill themselves, and you're going to be that point of reference that stops that happening. That's hard work. That's hard fucking work.
Yeah, it stays with you as well, that sort of job, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I could never do that job. I've been on the receiving end of that call, and I've been the person making that call.
I've been on the receiving end before, and luckily got there. It's not something that I could. It's not something I could wake up in the morning and go and do.
No,
it's something I would quite happily do if needed, but I couldn't. It'd mess me up. Strong types of people do that kind of stuff.
Well, look, I mean, that's the thing that's admirable, and people who do that, they require support. I mean, even psychologists have to have psychologists. So,
doctors need doctors.
Well, exactly, but that was, but that's part of it. All doctors need therapists, all the time, and that was very much the nature of what I wanted to do. Was, these are things like, I mean, historically, your mental health services are usually deeply underfunded because they're misunderstood.
Yeah, massively.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, there's no, like, I mean, it'll sound, make me sound deeply unsympathetic, but I remember, because, I mean, my father, he killed himself when I was 10. And at that point, there was no understanding of what had happened, at all. Like, he was an Anglican priest, so it took us fucking years for us even to get a bloody memorial at the church he worked at, because they were still trying to figure out if it was a sin.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then you add to that, like, at the time, there was a really big understanding of cancer. So, like, cancer got all the money, right? Which, I mean, of course, everyone's going to deal with that. Everyone's got a family member who's dealt with that, right? But everyone's got a family member at one point who's going to go through mental illness. We all will at some point.
Yeah.
Christ almighty. Yeah. And what I didn't know until I became, mentally ill, is it sneaks up on you. You got no idea.
Yeah, people around you can see it coming, but you yourself, you're like, I'm fine, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, you're not.
Well, even then, I mean, I challenge you. I'll gladly challenge you on the statement, people around you can see it coming, because some people can, but on the days that you don't, on the days that you miss it, holy shit, what that can do to people. I've lost friends because nobody saw it coming. You know what I mean? And then on the day when stuff was there, like it was all needed, they weren't able to get access to the help that they required. You know, and that had a lot to do with, the conversation about mental health not being normalized, all of this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like every once in a while you'll see on Twitter somebody tries to build a false dichotomy along the lines of, yeah, well, you think depression's real, I go for a run and that makes me feel better. It's like, yeah, it's nice. You probably still have depression. You probably do. But congratulations, you felt better for a minute. You know, have a look at The Rock's bloody social media. You tell me that guy hasn't got depression, because he does.
Yeah. It's
which he knows.
Yeah.
You know,
but he knows it, thankfully.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I mean, imagine. I mean, he'll be on some antidepressants, but also like there's a guy throwing himself into absolutely everything, and people,
Fully into it.
Well, people do that a lot of the time when they're running from pain. You know, and that happens continually. I mean, I do it every day. I never expected that. I always used to be somebody who threw himself into things he was interested in, and I throw myself into things I'm interested in at the moment because otherwise I feel like I might kill myself. So there you go.
Jeez.
You know, well, it happens. It's another reason. It's another reason, you know, to go and do things. It's also another reason, you know, like to go and do charity work for mental health stuff. It's also another reason. You know, like when this is a good time to do it because here we all are in isolation, and that'll fuck you. That'll fuck you up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've seen how many news reports that's at the minute talking about things like domestic abuse has spiked. So they've relaxed the guidelines so you can go out your house if you've had a row. But you still going.
Like, the idea of relaxing the guidelines, you know, like that, it should just Christ Almighty, you know.
Have I just hit a nerve, John?
Well, no, I'm just saying you should just be able to fucking leave.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I mean, look, hopefully things are more enlightened now, but I had a very brief job where I used to help train police officers, right? Which makes it sound a lot more grand than it was. They used to hire actors to pretend to be criminals in Perth, Western Australia. Yeah, it's fun. You're a crime reenactor, and the cops would come and deal with you. And I distinctly remember what it was like acting out an abuse case when police showed up.
God.
And that was hell of a thing. Like, and you could tell the cadets who just didn't get it was the fucking worst. Just the worst.
Yeah.
You know? And it would be the ones who would leave you both there in the same room, because then you'd have the sergeant saying to them, well, congratulations, you know, come back in 2 minutes. And they'd come back in. And then, of course, one of you'd now pretend to be dead. You know what I mean? Just to really drive it home.
Yeah. It's a shock and awe tactic, isn't it?
All right. And that was on, and like without, you know, and that was on without being, you know, making an unnecessary binary here, but that was, you know, both the male and the female, because they would take, like, more often than not, they would take the bloke away, right? But to be fair, a real abuser's probably going to convince you it's fine, you know, because they're good at it.
Yeah.
Encountered that shit before, you know. And then with the boys getting beaten up, I mean, we're talking about 15, oh God, longer now, 15 years ago. You know, I just remember one of the trainee cops saying to me, like, "Oh, do you have some place you can stay?" And so it's like, Jesus, put her in the car, you fucking idiot!
Yeah.
Christ, I mean, they got it. You know, like, people are better than that now, and I've had the good grace that every once in a while I run into very perceptive police officers. But you know what I'm saying. And anyway, this might seem a little heavy for this hour of the morning, but aside from or the afternoon, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, wherever we are in the world. Yeah, it's just it goes dark and it goes light and then it goes dark again. That's pretty much life at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, one point I'd like just to quickly make, this is just about the nature of mental health. I mean, one thing that I've noticed, right, is at the moment everybody's discovering what it is to be a freelancer. You know, everyone's discovering what it's like to have your work cancelled on you and nowhere to go but your home. And I can tell you the way I feel at the minute, right, because I've only recently started really looking back at my own mental health and going, well, hang on, you know, because I used to just think I was fine, because anything that felt like a positive emotion just felt to me like it was fine, you know, like can't be depressed or feel good. You know what I mean? I have felt the way I feel now every time I've been just stuck in this house. Every time.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what it was. When I wrote a novel, this is how I felt. When I just stayed in the house with my then housemate and we played Fallout for a month, felt the same. It's one of those things, like you're you know, the way I feel is exacerbated by not being able to leave the home. So, you know, if a lot of people are feeling that way, you know, fuck, we're all going to need help is the point I'm making. You're going to need to be, people are going to need to be ready for those fucking calls, and people will be ready. I point out.
Yeah.
Your friends are also surprisingly capable, as I've discovered. Fucking amazing. Nothing surprises me more.
Yeah, both me and you nearly lost a friend last year, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Without naming.
Well. Yes.
That was, and you've said yourself, we both struggled with mental health in the past, but there are people out there, whether you think you need it or not, just pick the phone up.
Oh god, yeah, and it's astonishing too. Like, don't underestimate the strength of. Like, okay, I don't want to sound like this is wanking on, but like, just don't underestimate the strength of people. It's fucking incredible. Right? I got a friend who's absolutely, you know, like, okay, I got a friend who's got post-traumatic stress disorder, right? And you might think to yourself, well, actually, maybe she's got enough problems. You know what I mean? Like, all right. Absolutely. When I was in real strife, absolutely nothing but valuable. Wonderful. You know, people will move fucking heaven and earth for you. It's incredible what people are good. And if the people that you ring aren't helpful, then for fuck's sake, just ring somebody else. It's not your fault you're surrounded by cunts.
Oh, Australian bluntness, I love it.
Well, it's accurate. The thing is, you may as well. Like, there's no point pussyfooting around these things. That wastes a lot of time.
Yeah, sugarcoating things doesn't help.
Well, sugarcoating can be a wonderful thing. Like, if you're actually aware of how somebody is, and you know what I mean. Like, that can be a fucking tremendous thing. But there's a difference between sugarcoating and cowardice. And cowardice is a total waste of everyone's fucking time.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, it's the difference between going, oh shit, all right. I fear that person seems bad. That makes me feel like, as in they're not mentally well. That makes me feel uncomfortable. How can I help them while looking after me? Right, at the same time, you know, to what extent can I do that? And nope. And yeah, that's the latter's a, you know, I mean, fine, but there's like literally, if somebody's in extreme distress and you just kind of go, oh, that's your problem, you know.
Yeah.
You know, fucking hell, you got to, like, I mean, people I admire are the people who will, when things are super duper hard, will fucking help, you know, to the extent that they can, and then, you know, and then tap out. Like, that's fine. Like, I've had people who, you know, it's very much like, all right, well, he's safe, but I don't want to deal with that anymore. And off they go. And that's fine, but at least they stayed till I was safe.
Yeah.
You know? I understand that. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as helping people is important, you've got to help yourself to an extent.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But the phrase "to an extent" is a very good one. You know, like, you don't. It's look, it's that thing where, you know, you don't get dragged down into a situation that you can't handle, which isn't actually, you know, it's not really your responsibility, because there is a difference here. You know, like, when somebody's in extreme pain and they're reaching out to you, right, then you should do something, right, to the extent that you can. If you know that person and this is, and you really know them, and what's happening here is part of a pattern of behavior that you've seen several times. At that point, you might want to go, oh, okay. Right.
So I'm seeing something here.
Yeah, but even that is rarer, in my experience. That is rarer than people who genuinely require your fucking help. And also your people there who, like, I know I've sort of painted the picture of a manipulative person. What that is there is somebody who's manipulative, but really in the end needy. You know, again, they still need something. You know, it's just whether or not you then go, oh, okay, I wanted to help you when you were dying, but now I've realized this is, you know, slightly a pattern that you're creating to get people to come and help you. You know what I mean? But you can't let what I'm talking about there tar the people who are in extreme danger.
Yeah.
You know, which is why it's like, when you do see something, because I used to sit around, like I would see people online talking about their mental health, and I used to be like, oh, like that, like what the fuck is this performance? What is this, right? And then of course you realize it's like, well, they don't have anywhere else to fucking go.
Yeah.
That's the easiest place. It makes sense. You can't even get out of fucking bed.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you write on Facebook that you feel like shit? The real performance is, is feeling like shit and then taking a photo of yourself outside, being like, things are great. So if anything, it's admirable, and for fuck's sake, look after them. And I say that because, to my shame, I hung back on helping some people because I didn't realise.
Yeah. It's not shameful to not realise the full extent of a problem. It's it's strength to admit that you were that person.
The thing is that, but you shouldn't immediately assume. No, thank you very much. But you shouldn't immediately assume, they just want attention. Like, because that attitude, right? That attitude puts you on the same level as the fucking physical education teacher I had at school, who I once heard use the phrase, when I was a boy, we didn't have ADD. We just had bad kids. And you know what I mean? And genuinely believed that he was right. So I don't reckon it's real. Oh, it's all right. He's probably sitting around at the moment coughing his fucking lungs out, blaming 5G. Anyway.
God, not that. No, we're not going down that road. Fuck.
Well, there's no road, mate. There's no road.
No, there isn't a road.
The road is flat. The Earth's flat, mate.
We never landed on the moon.
No, 5G causes COVID. Oh, it's well known. Well known.
Yeah. Well known. Totally proven.
Yeah, totally proven. I've read up on it, mate. I've read up on it. Jesus.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. I saw a YouTube video about it. He doesn't have a degree, but I like the way he sounds.
Yeah. Did the video start with, "What's up, my boys? We're back at you with another video."
Yeah. Fucking hell, I'll tell you. There's a YouTuber I watch who I won't give you his name. Seems like a nice bloke. Mostly just does like really long retrospectives of like wrestling games and your Mortal Kombats and things like that, right? But it's usually about half an hour in, because they're quite long videos, right? He's got one catchphrase, okay, which he refers to his audience by the group noun Dan-Dans.
Oh.
Every time, seriously, I'm there like, man, this is a great bit of content. I'm enjoying it so much. I put it on when I'm going to sleep. Fantastic. Okay, Dan-Dans, and my fist will just fly out towards him. Like, no, thank you.
No, none of that.
No, I choose not to identify as whatever the fuck a Dan is.
Yeah.
No thanks. Somewhere between a child, just saying the word Dan and what sounds like it used to hang out with the fucking AT-ATs in Return to the Yeah.
Yep.
But yes.
I see. The one that really gets me is stands.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hate that.
Really? You don't care for Stan? I really stan it.
Oh no, I'm not that. You like something, you're a big fan of it, but it's this. I don't know.
It's such a benign name.
I think the problem I've found is fans of something are quite happy to disagree with. Let's say if someone's a fan of fuck it, you, and you say something, a fan will say, "Don't quite agree with that," whereas a stan will be going like, "Oh my god, you're so right." If you get what I mean on the.
I don't have any stands. I don't think anyone has ever listened to anything I said and gone, he's unequivocally correct. Yeah, I mean, the fact that I couldn't even pronounce unequivocally just then, that's not even the word. Unequivocally. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
We know what you mean. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, the thing that's getting me is that now that Star Trek's back on television, right, and back on television for the first time, like really since the early 2000s, I hadn't seen Star Trek fans disagree with each other for a long time, and what a fucking pleasure that is. Just to be reminded that, what do you know? Like it's like they're not the original nerds, but it's the OG pop culture, without without them, there are no fucking. I mean, it's not that there are no science fiction conventions without Star Trek fans, because there are, but there are no Comic Cons, and there's no Western cosplay without Star Trek fans, like initially, right? And just watching them, the fact that there's a recommended video that keeps popping up on my YouTube, which is how Star Trek changed and why some fans hate it, and I'm like, no, why the fuck would I bother? I watched a supercut somebody had done where they took all the swearing that was in Star Trek Discovery and all the swearing that was in Star Trek Picard and put it up against all the swearing in 40 years of Star Trek prior to that, like it made some great point. And all that happened was I was there going, look at all these fucking boring cunts.
Mm-hmm.
Look at these boring cunts. Sitting there going, oh, it used to be, they didn't swear. Look, Captain Kirk said double dumbass in Star Trek 4. Like, come on.
That's just someone that spent a hell of a long time editing a video for content.
That's it. Congratulations. You've stirred up the idea when people say that swearing isn't clever, right? Or something like that. No, I mean, it's not. It's not clever. But what it is it's evocative. And as somebody who's made a career in which I swear a great deal, I'll also tell you, it's much more fucking expensive than you think it is. Because I lose professional opportunities because I like 4-letter words.
Yeah.
Like people go, well, hold up a minute, we're not entirely certain about it, John. He's just used the word fuck. It's like, well, everyone uses it.
Yeah, everyone uses it.
Even do it.
Highly religious people drop the F-bomb occasionally.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely they do. Like priests all the time. Yeah, they might as well too.
Oh yeah,
it's just one of those things. Also, it's like, also I am just going to quietly make the very, very nerdy point that like swearing in Star Trek is just updating it about as well as you can. For the zeitgeist. People swear. Good. People on Star Trek should swear then. That makes sense. It's not as embarrassing as Battlestar Galactica saying frack. For instance, but
Red Dwarf did it well with
smack. Yeah, they did, but then after a while, they just keep doing the same thing. Yes. When the laugh track gets excited for Smeghead again, Christ. But also, it is that point of it's like Star Trek always updates. Like it's always contemporaneous of the time it's in. I mean, all art is, right?
Yeah.
Like Star Trek First Contact is a mid-90s action sci-fi movie.
Absolutely.
And it just is.
Yeah.
Like, to look back on it is just to go, well, this has nothing to do with Star Trek. This is this is like the Lost in Space reboot from 1998.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, everybody. I mean, look, we've all got our bloody phaser rifles, except now they look like guns and they fire what appear to be laser bullets, like, whoa! Assimilate this. There are action catchphrases.
Oh, all of them, yeah. But they were always with the time they were in, and you look back and you always look at it like, that's what we were like back then. And you can't disagree with it because it's a really good interpretation of how things were back then.
Yep, well, it's true. Oh, it's like when you try to watch the original version of Neon Genesis Evangelion back. And
I haven't seen that.
Well, probably a bit late. A little late now.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's one of those things that it came out in 1995. I saw it in 2001. I was 15. I was horny and sad and depressed. And it's almost like it was made perfectly for horny, sad, and depressed teenagers in the early 2000s. Religious symbolism, big robots, depression. Like, if you ever, whenever I see people pretty much jerking off on the internet, just going, why can't the women have the fucking revealing armor and fucking, we just, the non-mating cry of the lesser-breasted incel, right? You could go and just watching it. Like, I remember watching Neon Genesis Evangelion as a teenager. It didn't even occur to me until I watched it again as an adult how much of that show is just the camera going, here's one of the female characters. They're probably talking, but let's look at their ass.
Yeah.
That's the worst. And anyone, that's that thing of anyone who wants to turn around and go, no, why can't I be like that? I feel like something's been taken away from me. It's like, okay, well, you're a loser.
Yeah.
You're a sad loser. I mean, just go have sex, mate. Go form an adult relationship with another human being. Go do that. It's fucking amazing. Then, curious enough, you won't need to jerk off to cartoons.
Have you ever decided to go?
Cartoons?
No.
Jesus Christ! Social isolation.
Have you ever checked into one of the so famous Twitch thought streams and looked at the chat in some of them?
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Twitch thoughts are if you go into Twitch chatting and you go onto a female who is invariably cooking, you can't see anything they're cooking or preparing.
I don't like just out of it, just the sudden random use of the word female. You mean a woman, do you?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking? You're talking about a woman. Well,
yeah.
Maybe talk about it like they're a fucking person.
Yeah.
What about that? The fuck? Are you a fucking Ferengi? What was
that?
Ferengi. I'm just saying. Oh, the females. Okay. Also, do they call themselves Twitch Thoughts? Do they call themselves that?
Some do.
Oh well,
some are accepting of what they are.
Well, now.
Sense.
Look, I'm just saying, if it's a self-applied title, then I don't argue with it.
No.
Right. But otherwise, okay. So what are we doing about it? We're doing about some women in fairly revealing clothing cooking.
But you can't see actually what they're doing. The camera's pointed at one very specific part.
Yeah, well, that's life. That sounds remarkably like softcore porn. That's life.
Pretty
there
much.
You go. Well, that's okay. That's been a bloody mainstay of entertainment the length of time I've been alive.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if those women are running it themselves, good on them.
Yeah,
that's their money.
They're doing what they do. But
yeah, but I'm just saying I mean, look, I find that admirable, to be honest. Right? That's good on them. Jesus Christ! If I had any bankable physical asset, I would do that. You know,
you're doing pretty good with what you got.
Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, if tell you what, if me getting my top off actually gave me money from people leaving in droves, I'd be very pleased. No, but I mean, like that. The thing is, like, when I think about it, right, the amount of friends I've had who were strippers to get through uni, right, or they worked as dominatrixes, or they worked as sex workers. Thing is, as long as they're controlling that and it's their money, great, good on them. There you go. I mean, it's your body. You're making your own your art. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck not? Do it. Jesus Christ. You know, I've got a nice ass. if me getting it out did anything other than make people go, fucking hell, John, wipe. You know.
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got no trouble with that. Yeah, no, I just had to make certain that you were just talking about people who were doing it for themselves, as distinct from what I was worried you were saying, which was like, hey John, you seen them Twitch thoughts over there? Ooh. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I know you're not, but I got to be clear sometimes.
Yeah, nothing wrong with defining it.
Nothing wrong with defining.
Nomi Cola says, "Holy shit! Just when I thought I couldn't love John anymore."
Oh, thank you. Oh, good. Well, I don't know what I did so you thought you couldn't love me anymore, but okay. I'm glad we're back.
During the Twitch women conversation, it popped up then.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's very, very nice. Oh, yeah, of course. You've got a chat running. That's
I
good.
have, yes.
What are people saying? Do they have questions? What do they do?
We're going to get a couple done now. If you have any questions, get them in chat. We will be doing them. This is a long one. Mr. YOLO Swagger Dabbadude says, I wouldn't want to type that in every time I had to log into a website. It's far too long. Says, would he rather be able to dab but not have much swag, or have too much swag but no more dabs?
Interesting. I would much rather, Christ almighty, I hope you're not a grown adult in their mid-30s. You know, oh, Jesus. I deeply hope that you're a 15-year-old using the terminology that was cool back when you were 12. Yeah, no, I will always take too much swag. When you have swag, you can swagger. You don't need to dab.
Yeah.
No need for dabbing. I was dabbing earlier, but that was just at the blood coming out of my cold sore. So no need for dabs, friend.
Wow. Plus, you can't dab now because you're not allowed to touch your face.
That's right. That's right.
The BPG13 says, good afternoon, John. How does the sunny weather over here currently in the UK compare to that of Australia?
Well, it's clement, and that's probably the name of several of your children. It's a nice name. Yeah, look, it's clement, it's temperate, it's weak. You've got weak weather, and it's fine. But like, I mean, I come from a land of fire and thunderstorms. So, like, with
And
the sun out,
spiders.
yeah, and spiders, which tend to fuck off during the thunderstorms, which is good. The real pain in the ass when you're hot, and then suddenly you feel like what you think is sweat dripping out of you, but it's the legs. Yeah, not fun. But you're all right. You just popped one open, did you, pal? What was that?
No.
That sounded amazing, whatever that was. Yeah, no, look, it's lovely weather. It's good. It's good. It's good. Charming, delightful English springtime weather. There should be bunnies running out in the fields and deers jumping in the forests and Robin Hood and his merry men giving the sheriff some real hell. But this is the kind of weather that I'll go and get on a bike and go riding in, as distinct from the Australian version of this, which is I'll get on a bike and then get off the bike because the aluminium has just burnt my thighs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So your motorbike or push bike?
No, push bike. I mean, yeah. The thing is, I've got enough leather jackets. I always look like I have a motorbike somewhere nearby, but I'm not a motorbike guy. I don't like the way I ride on a bike is I listen to podcasts or music, and I just fucking fang it around, and my attention span's no good, but my peripheral vision is. So
that's a bonus.
Well, yeah, but it's just things like, oops, nearly hit by a car, but nearly.
Nearly
Yeah,
is the key point.
I can't be trusted with a motorized vehicle at all. I'd lose interest. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be like, well, we've been going straight for a while. No, I'll do something
What's this
else.
do?
Yeah.
It's only a barrier. What could possibly go wrong?
It's only a barrier. Mate.
Yeah. We'll heal.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, the people you run into, maybe not so much.
Yeah, well, as long as you aim between the people, it's fine.
Well, that's the issue. It's like that's why I never learned to drive a car because I didn't want to have anyone's life in my hands in a vehicle. Because I knew what it would be. It'd be like, in Pulp Fiction, when he turns around the back with the gun and goes, "You got to have an opinion," and he blows the guy's head off.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd do that without the gun. Like, you got to have an opinion. Crash into the side. Yeah, bam.
It's like that scene in Fight Club, isn't it? Where he just puts the belt on going, what is it now? Are you ready to have a near-life experience? And just goes barreling through straight off a cliff or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I remember my second driving test, I somehow, at 20 k's an hour, which is nothing, mounted a bloody traffic island. And we just watched a hubcap just fly off into the distance. And my wife was like, maybe let's just not worry about this. Yeah, one of those things.
You don't have to drive.
No, I mean, not in London anyway, Christ.
Oh.
Well, with that said, in the time of lockdown, my God, those people in the cars, it's like being the one-eyed man in the land of the blind, because they're just driving around in these, these metal tanks where you're like, of course, there's no COVID-19 in there. Can't get it in there. That's clever. You go anywhere. Clever. Yeah. Oh, that's life.
Apparently so. So we've got. Have you ever seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No. I've seen bits of it. I'm gonna watch.
It's something I want to get down and watch as well.
Yeah.
Bish, moderator, really good moderator on my place, says, "What's the biggest spider you've ever seen?"
The biggest spider I've ever seen was a huntsman spider, and they're just big bloody things. It was a huntsman spider. It was on the back of the house that my parents and I used to live at in Guildford, Western Australia, and it would have been like that. We're like, no bullshit.
Yeah.
It would have been two of my hands plus legs, and it was just big, just a big thing,
Like 6 foot across, aren't they sometimes?
Yeah, sure.
Stupid
But
things.
yeah, the thing is, you get like they're a dinner plate, and you get them in your house, and they eat all the other spiders. But they do also like they climb out from behind appliances, and they're scary as fuck. But they're just big, hairy, and don't anger them because they'll charge at you, right? But they're not poisonous. They're just scary. They're good spiders, and these are the things you're told as a child, and it does fucking nothing. See, watch one of those things come in through your window during a thunderstorm, and you will kill it, like I did.
With fire.
And it took and it took 20 minutes. Fuck, and it kept coming.
Jesus. You went to war with a spider.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's like a scene out of Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yes, very much. Very much.
God, that was an awful film.
It was a crap movie.
Yeah.
Absolute load of shit. I still remember seeing that at my mate Bill's place. Fucking hell. Who the fuck did I offend that we had to put that on?
Oh,
Jeez.
I don't know. PBG back says, question for you both. Do you think the game industry is becoming less interesting and less creative with bigger games? This is games that are made by AAA game devs, not indie developers.
Well, what do you reckon, mate? What do you think?
I think that... difficult one. I personally think that it's very much a trend industry. Once one game suddenly does very well, every developer tries to make one.
Yeah.
Battle Royale being a very good example there.
Huge example. Fantastic example.
I think we're getting away from that a bit because we've got Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal that are both doing exceptionally well and are very different to anything that's going well at the minute. Yeah,
I mean they are both, part and parcel of very well established genres and both long running franchises. I mean there is that point to be made. I don't think things are less interesting than they've ever been. I think the industry has now become, at its peak, it's a legacy industry because all that seems to happen is games are released that are part of franchises that those are your big releases throughout the year. Very, very large FPS or squad shooter games, like new franchises try to get launched. They are then invariably told that they failed, like immediately, like your Anthems, your actually pretty much any time a AAA studio tries to launch a new franchise. Happened with Destiny as well, except they made the bad call of touting it like it was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Right at the start. And all that seems to end up happening is, in about 2 years, you discover that those games still have something of a player base, and the game just tends to get a bit better. I think No Man's Sky, but I think every the AAA gaming scene is the same as it goes to what sells and what has the name. Like in the mid 90s, everything was a platform game, and suddenly everything was a 3D fighter.
Yeah.
And then everything was a 3D shooter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just think it's the same that it's always been, but because the gaming industry is so much larger than it used to be, and there are so many platforms available for indie devs, you'll always have, much more room, for indie dev games. Like, I'm thinking specifically of, you have a look at the Steam charts and you're like, oh, what do you know? This game that's the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital seems to still be doing pretty well, that kind of thing. There's always room. There's room for plenty of things, like it's that thing where it's just like, if there's more room at the top, there's more room all the way through. So, yeah. That's what I reckon.
Hey, Gaming Jimbo's here. Hello.
Hi, Gaming Jimbo. But yeah, I mean, in answer to your question, I think the gaming industry is about as interesting and as interesting as it's ever been. I think it's just the gaming industry again. We're not going to see a return to the 1980s homebrew, and and everyone's aware of your little game about a fucking llama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can always see, oh, your little game about your llama could be a fucking flash game, and it could be making millions on mobile. I mean, Christ Almighty, I remember having my then assistant run up to me screaming about this Untitled Goose game she'd played back in 2018, and that was when it was still called Horrible Goose. She was like, no, it's the best thing, She queued up for fucking hours to play that at PAX Australia. It was the best thing,
Yeah, it was a kind of a flash in the pan as well, Untitled Goose Game. It was huge, and then it stopped.
Well, I don't think it stopped.
There's plenty of people still playing it. You just don't see a lot of people talking about it anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, why should they? Like it's just a product. You know what I mean? Like it's a funny product. It appears cool. They might do another one. You know what I mean? It's like when something comes to the cinema. We all saw it. Good, we saw it. Now we're doing other things. Hey, they're making another.
Go watch that as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I think I find on some level me like the idea of something being a flash in the pan is, at least in this economy, if you can make a flash, that's something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah. There'll always be like the second you make anything that gets a particularly large number of people on it, right? For the rest of time, fractions of that are going to be your audience. Like
Yeah.
you're still going to have that forever. So I'm just saying, like a flash in the pan never goes away. Like look at all the one hit wonders from the 70s, all your fucking musicians, you know.
Oh
right?
God, yeah. You only have to say Chesney Hawkes, and everyone knows exactly what you're on about.
Well, exactly. Still touring around, still touring. You know, like whatever it is. You know, like I used to have such pity. I used to really pity people who had like a hit in the 60s, you know, and I thought, what losers? You know what I mean? Like, what complete failures. My God, they had a song that only 1 million bought a copy of, and everyone knows. Oh, what chumps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like whenever I think about Chubby Checker, because he gets painted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he gets painted as being a bit of a turd in the music industry because here's the guy who sings the twist and let's twist again. And he got a bit sad because he was like, well, hold on. I had the first song that charted and then charted again, right? And went to #1 both times, right?
Yep.
I should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then people are going, well, hang on, what the fuck's this? You're some goddamn teeny bopper plate spinner from the 50s and 60s. Who gives a fuck? You know, you're some old guy. And it's that moment going, yeah, but it's still fucking Chubby Checker.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's the guy who did the twist. Jesus, I know the song.
Yeah.
You know,
the Hall of Fame. That's the main part. Fame. And he's
exactly.
ridiculously famous.
Yeah, imagine doing anything that people were still aware of 60 years later, even if it was the most embarrassing shit. You know, like imagine. What a fucking joy.
Yeah.
You know, God. And I grew up thinking, you know, like being really contemptuous of people doing that. And now I'm like, fuck, I'd kill for one hit. You know, who wouldn't kill to have the pan flash that one fucking time? Jesus.
So
I want to buy a house.
15 minutes of fame thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah. And that's interesting too. I mean, the whole everyone's going to have 15 minutes of fame. Well, that came true. That came true. They didn't, you know. I think that, you know, I just always thought it would be at the one go, but it turns out it's parceled out over everyone's lifetime. God damn it.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, especially with how easy it is to get yourself on the internet.
Oh yeah,
as I'm doing now.
Well, are you on the internet? Bullshit. I thought this was a private conversation. Oh, Christ.
It's alright, I'm on dial-up. Everyone's still waiting for the top quarter of the screen to load.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I'll put a shirt on and disappoint them then.
God damn it. Diamond Dog 30, another good moderator, says, what possessed you to be part of one of the most infuriating games ever created? So I think that's on you.
Oh, is that about my game?
I think it might be. I've played your game a few times on stream, and he just he has no patience. So it's the perfect game for him.
Good. Well, yeah, it's designed to. I do not like. I mean, no, let's put it this way. I don't like a lot of modern game design. I appreciate it, but I don't like it. I don't like the conventions of modern game design. I don't like people who slavishly bang on about them. I don't like dealing with people who want to tell you about the user's home experience and the contract between you and the player. And this might seem like a fairly pointed reference to people I've actually worked with, and it is. Actually, tell you what, friend. Hey, are you able, perchance, can you hold the fort for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That cake's come back. See you in a second.
Okay.
What have you done?
We had a donation to the charity, so I'm just transferring it across.
Yay! Yes, I just donated something to the National Trust upstairs, so there we go.
7 Trent Water. Right. Flick across so we can see your face. Bing, there we go. There he is.
Hi, gang. Oh, yes indeed. Woo! Raw egg was a brave choice.
Oh, Namco's raw egg was a brave. No kidding. Namco says if he does a donation. Yep, there we go. That's gone in. If he does a donation above £5 to the charity, would you and John have a spoonful of hot sauce together? Have you got any hot sauce?
Is that a song? I can do that for you. I'll have some hot sauce. It'll be fine.
Cool.
No issue. I will just note that there are people on my Discord who are currently talking about why I ran upstairs to have a shit. One has just said we think it's the raw egg, which is great. It's fine. It's fine. Look when such enjoyment. Yeah. So you just sing out when that donation comes through. And what charity are you raising money for?
We are doing it for the Hope from Home initiative, which is the COVID-19 Response Fund, United Way and Comic Relief.
Easy as. Well, yeah. You just sing out, and we'll sort that out for you.
Okay.
Yeah. I got hot sauce. We'll be fine. Have you got hot sauce?
Oh yeah, Carolina Reaper.
Well, you enjoy that. Yeah. I'm gonna have some light Tabasco.
Now then. Nice.
Now, what else shall we talk about, friendo?
Well, we've had another question that is
wonderful.
Lost in the chat.
Oh, no.
Are you an 80s man, John? As in 80s music and games, lover, etc.
Indeed. I love 1980s music. 80s games are very beautiful as well, but I was born in the 80s, so like I was really playing games in the 90s. But yeah, like when you look back and you give it a go, fuck, it's fun and it's mysterious and enjoyable, and yeah, it's good. It's good. It was, like it's back in the times when people thought they knew shit because they couldn't just look it up,
Oh yeah,
but even that.
The idea that you can get stuck in a game and just nip over to Google and feel, I finished the game. Did you Google it? No.
You know what? I really like how fucking inaccurate so much of that is. Like, I have a huge amount of anger in me for the time that I was playing. I think it's called Kamiara, or something of that nature, and it's a sumo wrestling game for the Mega Drive, and it's based on Haramata. That's the one. And it's based on an anime I never watched because I don't know, episode by episode of a sumo tournament. I'm not certain I'm going to be so super thrilled by that. But I remember in the game FAQs thing, it just says, look, the buttons don't really do anything. They don't do different attacks or anything. And I've played that game, and I'm like, bullshit. Quarter circle forward throws a fucking fireball. I'm still angry. That level of misinformation. And that's just in a video game, and that's absolutely benign as fuck. God, who wouldn't want to have a mole that was benign as fuck? That's the sound of an Australian doctor for you kids.
That sounds like it should be a song that you should make up completely off the cuff right now on that ukulele.
Things aren't good. Feeling fine. Benign as fuck. Yeah, that'll do. That's fine.
Oh, hello. We've just had. Oh, no, he said £5. He's donated $15. So
that's more than that.
It is. So I've got my hot sauce.
All right, I'll go get me hot sauce then.
Let's do this.
All right, son. Hold up. Let's go get your hot sauce. All right. What size spoon have you got?
Teaspoon, mate.
Teaspoon. Yeah, all right then. Sweet. Lucky. All right. Good stuff. Now,
down in hot sauce with the Dart Lord. I wasn't expecting my day to go like this.
Yeah. Give me a second. Right. Where's me fucking? There it is. All aboard. All aboard. Oh, yep.
Carolina Reaper sauce. How much are you doing? I just realised you probably can't see me unless you have the stream up, can you?
No, can't see it. That's all right. I believe you're doing it. It's fine. Don't jeopardize your internet connection, son.
Chin.
Chin. All right, son. All aboard. 3, 2, 1.
Holy fuck.
Acceptable.
It's something. should have said tablespoon. No. So yeah, on my channel at the minute with this fundraiser, I'm doing any donation over $5 gets me suffering with Carolina Reaper hot sauce. So that's happened. If you want the link in chat to the donation, just say put it in your eye and on the end of your tip. Not a chance, me Machine Dean. That ain't happening. I want to live through today. Oh wow! I think you've just killed Steve. No.
You're all right, mate. You're feeling fine.
I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah, you're okay. You're not in pain.
No.
You're not in physical pain.
No.
You're all right.
Pain is an opinion.
Christ,
my opinion.
I already ran. Well, I already ran off stream with diarrhea before. Why not just add unnecessary agony to that?
Yeah.
Thanks. There you go. Look at what we've done for charity. How enjoyable.
Yes, we're up to $611.27, which I'm actually insanely proud of.
Oh, you should be. That's brilliant. Well done.
Thank you. Diamond Dog says Centipede on the Atari.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Centipede on the Atari as distinct from Centipede under the pillow, on my face, anywhere near me. Yeah, absolutely. Centipede on the Atari. Why not?
Did you own an original PlayStation, and did you ever play any of the original Driver games?
I do own an original PlayStation, but the first PlayStation console I got was a PS2. Never played your Driver games, no.
Wow. You missed out on possibly the single hardest tutorial level.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm familiar with that idea, but again, like, I don't drive in real life, and the idea of, like, pretending to drive a car that I couldn't immediately get out of and then stab somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's not appealing. That said, though, it's a great game? Fucking Burnout.
Burnout's incredible.
Oh my god, don't even play the racing bits, just the bits where you crash the car into lots of other cars and explode. That's the best bit.
Exactly.
So good.
What's your favourite Burnout, then?
Burnout Takedown, which is the one I can see closest to me and also the only one I've played.
So that one. Yeah, Paradise kind of lost it for me. It went away from the whole Burnout is a game for crashing to Burnout is a game where you don't want to crash.
I don't care for that. I also just quite liked your turn of phrase that Paradise kind of lost it for you. Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
That's a reference to John Milton out of nowhere. That's cool.
Ooh, yeah.
Bit of classic literature at this hour. Look at what the Carolina Reaper has done to you.
Who the we've just done another donation.
Brilliant.
$57.73.
Holy shit.
We're going to have to wait because my face wants to recover from that hot sauce, but we will do that. Me Machine Dean says Burnout 3 was his favourite.
Cool.
Very good choice. PBG says, since there is a dark room, will there ever be a light room, as in bright as hell and you can't see? As a major
we made one of those. We made one of those in 20. I was given a very small budget by Hat Trick Productions. They released it on YouTube about 2 months after everybody using their channel had switched over to mobile, and so annotations didn't work. So it was fucking dead like that.
Oh.
And I eventually got it taken off the internet, thank God. But it was fun.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It was a good idea. It just it scared the piss out of people too, which was because it was just creepy. It never lent up any degree of tension. So whereas Darkroom would be like this. You want to go over there? You can't go over there! You're a fuckwit! Instead, it was this, right? Hey, what would you like to do now?
Well, that's very Hannibal.
Yeah, and then behind me, just constant rotation of eyes and spirals. Ooh, and I had a moustache made of fucking gaffer tape, and I was a character called the Man Without a Moustache, and it was just me going, oh, hey, that sounds nice. Why don't we go there? And then we would go wherever there was, and it ended up becoming something about me enjoying Japanese curry. It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Oh yeah, it's just been pointed out to me that our total has reached 669.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. That's good. There's 3 people in the bed and 2 of them are busy. Wonderful.
One's watching, really hoping they can be part of the cool gang. Now,
well, fuck the cool gang. You know. One of them can have a meal that doesn't involve pubic hair. So there you go. That's not so bad.
Oh, you're not picking out your teeth. Anyway, Namco says, what computers/consoles did you own through your years, and what did you think of them? That's got the potential to be a very long answer.
It doesn't have to be. Here you go. We can do this.
We can do long answers. It's fine.
No. Well, I mean, you can. I don't have time.
Okay, that's fair.
I got other sitting around to do, mate.
You got a life.
Well, no one does at this point, but that's okay. You know, we're preserving actual lives. That's why we're here.
Yes.
Here you go. So, in order, Dad had a green and black computer, which was completely bloody useless. But we used to play Alley Cat, Space Invaders, a baseball game, and some betting game where I managed to break the bank one time, and he was astonished. That was cool. I never managed to move that skill into doing that again in actual gambling. What a pity. Then we had a Mega Drive, which was fucking great.
Good choice.
A Pentium 1. Fun.
Oh wow.
Emptied out most of that bloody hard drive to play Quake one weekend. Oh, that was fantastic. Spycraft, what a game. Full motion video, Brian Dennehy. Not even Brian Dennehy, just that other bloke who looked a bit like him.
What was he called?
The guy. I can't remember. He's the guy who plays the fucking cowboy musician in Blues Brothers. Charles Napier.
That's it.
Right. Then you've got your Zork Nemesis. Fucking terrific games on my Pentium 1. Then I got a N64. Fucking phenomenal. Moved out of home. Had a Pentium 2. Used to play the real-time version of Worms on that. That was cool.
Man.
That was fun. Loved Worms. Great game.
Yeah. They're making another one.
Yeah, good. Then it was a PS2. Yeah, my wife bought me that because I had a PS2 in my share house, and my wife bought me a PS2. Fucking brilliant. Off the back of that, we fell in love with God of War. So, of course, with God of War 3 coming out, I immediately went off and bought an Xbox 360 with vouchers I'd been given. And I remember my wife going, how the fuck are we meant to play God of War 3 now? We played Dante's Inferno, and it was nearly as good. It wasn't. Then the 360. Then we came to the UK where I was given a PS3. So God of War 3 finally came about. Then a PS4, and also like just around the house, various handhelds that we've picked up over the years. And yeah, that's the go. We've been pretty good on consoles and a lot of Macs, for a lot of graphic design, a lot of hey, I was told in the 90s machines that art people use, so I never questioned that. A lot of grey boxes, you know.
Macs have their uses and they're extremely good at them.
Oh, they are, and so help me. Yeah. The minute you find out what one of those is, you let me know, son. If you like anything regarding streaming, my God, is there nothing that a PC can't do better than a Mac as regards Twitch streaming? Holy shit!
Yeah,
everything is one step unnecessarily difficult. Oh well, that's life.
That sounds about right for a Mac. To be fair, I had a Mac in my house that I was repairing and got it repaired. Got it running and thought I'll have a muck about on it, see what I make of Apple's OS. Half an hour later, it was already back at the guy's house. Like, I don't even know how you use that. Give me Windows.
Now the OS is where I'll do battle with you, because so help me. Oh, I find Windows so intrusive. You know?
Oh yeah, it's intrusive as all hell, but
it's horrifying. Just this constant hey, do you want to? Hey, hey!
You clicked a thing. You didn't want to do that.
Your computer's not being protected. Yeah. It's not being protected, or your computer is being protected, and it's just, oh God, just shut up. Just let me do it.
You know, when you connected to the internet, opened your browser, went to this very specific website, downloaded this program, then went to your download folder, double-click this program. Are you sure you want to run that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's aggravating. Although, I mean, I know that OS does that now as well. Pisses me off.
Yeah.
So irritating. This is something you've downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to run it? Yes. I mean, how did it get here otherwise? Christ, what a horrifying accident. Yes.
I mean, you can turn it all off, but realistically, it should be off, and you should be able to turn it on.
Yes. That's it. It's very odd. It's like it would be like, okay, it's not quite like having a bike with training wheels, right? It's more like having a bike that wants to assure you the training wheels are there over and over again.
Yep.
You know,
Every
Christ,
pedal. Don't worry, they're there. Don't worry, they're there.
Yeah. Exactly. I would rather be, as a grown man, be going down the road on a bike that had visible training wheels. And I'm not saying just 2 of them at the back. I mean fucking 4 of them.
All around.
Some at the front, some at the back, right? Making a clattering noise. Okay. I would rather have that than have this constant thing in my ear just going, you need to update McAfee.
Oh, fuck McAfee, Jesus.
Yeah, you know.
Yep. That's why I build my own.
Windows.
I build my own so I know what goes on it.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get back to chat. Summer B76. Don't die from the shits, Dad.
Oh, you're a good kid. Don't worry about it. Your dad's fine. Your dad's fine. He was just a bit bored. Decided he'd go, run a little horse. There you go.
Ah, you're back. We lost sound for a second then.
Did we? Oh, what a shame. That was quite a good horse racing metaphor, nevertheless.
Damn. It'll be lost in the world of imagination. It's fine.
Oh, it's fine. I was just running. Yes, I just told the kids that I was just running a little race around the old bumhole. No worries.
Ah, dropping the kids off at the pool.
Indeed. Although some of them are in the chat, so there's been a bit of a splash.
Oh,
now,
lovely. Brown rain. Meat Machine Deed says, what's the largest audience besides the online stream you have performed to?
In person, 3,000, I seem to remember. Yeah.
Insomnia?
No.
No.
Insomnia, we get about 2,000. No, 3,000 was hosting the cosplay at Wycon in Perth, Western Australia, in a 3,000-seat theatre. And that used to fill, so that was fun.
That's good.
It used to be opening for Wayne Brady from Whose Line Is It? He filled 2,000-seater, but no, that was $3,000. Yeah, $3,000. Yeah,
$3,000.
Like you got a cut of the money, John. Yeah, 3,000. I think in one place 3,000. I think.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very nice. It's good fun to do.
Mm.
Look, there's a reason Michael McIntyre moves like that. You perform to like that many thousand people. It's fucking wonderful. You skip, you jump, you move. Oh, it's the fucking best. So good.
Liam is always a really active comedian.
Yeah. Oh, straight up. Bam! It's the nicest thing, like to get that many thousands in a room, because it is just kind of come here and listen, and it's fucking great. And the weirdest thing is, it feels intimate as fuck. It's incredible. There are numbers.
Go on.
Well, there are numbers that are a lot harder than, like 3. That's a real pain in the ass.
It makes for a short game.
Well, no, it doesn't. You can still got to do your time.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You still got to get the time.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been taking it up to the Fringe? Because I know when we last spoke at Manchester Play Expo, you said you'd been there with it.
Oh yeah. Well, I've performed at every Edinburgh Fringe since 2009. I did some spots in 2009, first solo shows in 2010, and Darkroom's been there since 2012. So,
wow.
So if the Fringe were running ahead this year, that would have been Darkroom's 9th consecutive Fringe. So,
that's pretty. Just trying to think, how many other comedians do you get going up there every single year with the?
Oh, a few of them.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. I mean, thank you, but I mean, there's a few who go up there. Like your man Tom Tuck, he's been up there, I think, since 1999. So he's there. Oh, it's astonishing. It's worth doing. Without a word of a lie, Edinburgh Fringe makes up about probably 30% of my yearly income comes off the back of doing Fringe. So this whole it's a thing, but like somebody texted me to go, oh hey, I heard Fringe, you okay? And I just had to write back. I was like, yeah, sure, I'm fine. Like what? we're all in the same fucking boat, you know.
Yeah.
Like no one's got a job anymore, you know. Like it's just like I'll fucking make my way through. So that's it. So I have, you know. Also, it helps that like normally at Fringe I would do like 48 1-hour shows. So thanks to that fucking marathon I did, I got all of that done in 2 days. There you go.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it.
I had my Fringe done.
Yeah, done it, nailed it.
That was emotional. Look, I'll tell you something. I love the Edinburgh Fringe, but 2 days of no sleep, screaming, raising money for the NHS and mental health was less emotionally taxing than 3 weeks in, you know, beautiful Edinburgh with all of my friends doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was something to behold.
It was fun to be held.
Yes. We've got a long one here. Back from summer, B76 again. John,
Yep.
I was wondering, did the Belgium show at the start of March go through, or was it the one that was cancelled as well due to COVID? I had to miss it due to being on holiday in the US at that time, but if it happened and I hadn't just been abroad, I totally would have attended. Sure hope the Dark Room finds its way to Belgium again in the future.
Thank you. It will. I'll be back. Yeah, the Belgian shows all went ahead, and then about 10 seconds after I'd been in Belgium, that entire country was shut down. So that was fun.
Jeez,
Yeah.
you only just got out.
I'm not patient zero, but a friend of mine, a poet that I met there, was just messaging just to go, oh yeah, we're in. The first time I'd heard lockdown. I didn't know what that meant, you know. I just thought that no one could get in and out of Belgium, which is, you know, admittedly hard because I mean that you can just drive out of Belgium, you know. Like,
yeah, it's connected.
Oh, hello. What do you know? Oh, you know, it's amazing. So, yeah, fucking hell. But yeah, so the Belgians were the first to get kind of stuck in. Although I'll tell you something about that tour because that was fucking great. We had there was a person on the team who was really like, you know, like just really gung ho as an anti-colonialist, you know. And this is a good thing, you know, like just being very gung ho as an anti-racist and as an anti-colonialist and all of this. And she asked one of the local acts, "Oh, look, is there anything cool to look at?" Right? Because of course, you know, we're in the middle of Belgium, we're in Antwerp, and they go, "Well, why don't you go and look at the train station? You know, like that. You know, that you can see what King Leopold was doing in the Congo, right? Because it's built with some of the finery that had been brought back, right?
All right.
Yeah. So, you know, so of course, you know, we're all drinking and it's like, oh, this person is, you know, real gung ho, like, right, you know, and all about, you know, and I'm making the point that, okay, a very good person, but you don't need, like, when you're sitting over breakfast in the hotel, you don't need somebody greeting you by going, look, John, let me tell you about all of the atrocities committed in the Bible. You're just sort of there like, outstanding, cool. And you're having a pancake, I see. Good on you. That's right. So we went out walking, and I was getting the length and breadth of world suffering. And I eventually just went, look, you know, because I was feeling a bit depressed. And I just went, look, I can't really keep talking with you about this because it's getting really draining. And they went, okay, that's all right. Let's talk about architecture. And I went, yeah, let's talk about architecture. And then I saw the train station. I went, my God, look at that. And she went, wow, imagine all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into
Jesus.
It was great. I had to turn around and go, yeah, you don't remember last night? Children had to help you. What? They're just watching somebody realize the terrible thing they said. It was great. Lovely moment.
Yeah, I do enjoy when you're in the middle of a conversation, someone says something, and then they realise exactly what they just said.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like everybody can be a beautiful human being, and everybody can care about things, but don't you know, anyone I've ever met who declared themselves a saint, you know what I mean, eventually tends to get nailed to something, and usually it's their own fucking words. You know, it's amazing. Anyone who has all the answers or something like that, they always eventually trip up, and it's like, well, what happened? It's like, well, you forgot you were human. Yeah. You know, maybe just every once in a while, cut other people fucking slack, will you? You know, Jesus, before the slack cuts you. So there we go.
Because it'll cut deeper.
Oh, will it ever? It's astonishing.
Namco says,
yep.
What's the most memorable Darren you've ever had?
Oh, good question. Really, the most memorable Darrens are Brendan Burns, who won the Dark Room, because, I mean, Brendan, fucking, you know, the best of times, so he's a fairly memorable figure. We had, I'll tell you what, one name that sings out is, I asked a Darren what his name was, and he said Hannibal. And I'd never met a Hannibal in my life, right?
Wow.
And they weren't doing like a bloody Anthony Hopkins impression or anything. It was bloody Hannibal Buress, who ended up writing for 30 Rock and then became the guy who outed Bill Cosby, you know? So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Before he was out there, you know, helping sex offenders, Hannibal Buress was playing the Dark Room. So that's fun.
That's not a bad claim to fame.
Yeah, I mean, he never mentions the Dark Room.
Well.
Yeah.
I want to actually talk about the game a bit. I'm not going to keep you for much longer because I've just
That's
seen
okay,
we've been going nearly 2 hours. You've just I don't know how much you can go into, but we got a future with the game because I know. I mean, I think I can say this. You just got the rights back, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I bought the rights back. Look, the company that was making it, you know, they worked very, very hard, but life's difficult, you know, and they ended up going into liquidation. That happens. I bought the rights back, and I'm just talking to a bunch of different studios just to see what we can do, and we'll see, you know, like that's pretty much the go. We'll either complete the game with the graphical downgrade, which will be very good for the story, or we'll complete the game with the motion capture, which will just look the same, you know. But it's fun. It's like another 2.5 hours of frustrating bullshit to put in that game. It'll be fun.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. But sorry, I'm keeping up with chat as well.
That's okay.
Visited Bruges last year. Lots of fun memories. Bruges is lovely, though a tourist trap. Also, my ex lives there. That's summer. So for me, a rough place to remember. Will there be a sequel to The Dark Room? PBG says.
A sequel? Yeah. I mean, like probably around like when we eventually like reach the end of the original one. But yeah, maybe. You know, like we haven't completed the story yet. You know, players haven't gotten through it. We haven't. It's still growing. So there might be. I mean, I am expanding it, and there's extra options and all sorts of extra functionality. It's evolving again, which is nice. So yeah, I guess there will be, but it'll be around the time that there's a need for it. You know, like I don't know. It's that flash in the pan thing we talked. If Darkroom, for instance, if 1 million people, okay, if for instance, say we got a Netflix special of the Darkroom, right?
Ooh.
And I made, well, and you know, like, because I've got like the current map is about it's 700 screens, right? Like 688, but about 700 screens in there. And the Darkroom game in the end is 3.5 hours long, right? So these are different maps, you know, and different stories as well. If we did a Netflix special and that, you know, and like 100,000 people watched it, you know, then I'd go, all right, and I'd make something called the Darkroom 2. You know? It's just one of those things where it's like when I've made a document that I'm like, righto, that feels like that's done, and that feels like we did it. That's when I'll build a sequel. But at the moment, because it just lives and breathes in 2 different formats at the moment with 3 now. I mean, with the game and with the Twitch and with the live show. Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad you asked. I mean, if more people ask that question, yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, cool, we finished that bit of the story, and it was seen by enough people. That's when you declare sequel. You know?
Yeah, you got to drop that news at the right point as well, haven't you?
No, straight up, absolutely.
Darkroom as a film or short film would be a great idea, and I'd definitely watch that.
Thank you.
Documentary, whichever works, he said. PBG.
I'll take them all.
So there is a hell of a lot of love for the game and the show.
Oh yeah, no, well, people are lovely. You know, people are real good. That's why I want to keep
so modest, John.
No,
work down hard for the love that you get.
Well, no, I work hard like an entertainer works, which is not the same. You know, it's work, and make no mistake, it is real. But I don't ever have to do anything that I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like that's a big difference.
That is a very big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like like I might get the shits if I have to travel a million miles to go to like a gig somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas yeah, where like I don't have to go to an office with people I hate or anything like that. And that's and part of the reason I don't have to do that is because people are kind enough to to watch me and support what I do. So there's no humility there. It's luck and the kindness of people. So
yep. It was
a
pleasure to meet you at EGX and at Play Expo last year. Hoping to meet you again in the near future. For context, I'm the guy who said you were an Australian Billy Connolly.
I remember, and I'm happy, and I do apologize to like I could have done this in character. I've done this jumping around, but I didn't. Sorry.
No, to be fair, I kind of wanted because I've got the interview with you as the Dark Lord on the YouTube, and now I've got an interview with you as you. So it's kind of two sides of the coin.
Well, which is very nice, and it's interesting too because like friends of mine will look at this and they'll go, "Did you have a big meal just before you did this?" Because you seem curiously quiet. Because again, I'm not a good actor. So like when I do darkroom, because like there's an idea that like your comedic persona is you dialed up to 11. No, darkroom's just me, but with a deeper voice and in charge of a game. You know what I mean? Like I'm quite like that guy a lot of the time. So if anything, this this John on neutral gear thing that you've got, this is the act. You know what I mean? Right. I don't recognize myself. Like I mean, like Christ Almighty, I've rolled up my bloody pants. Like I'm chilled out with a ukulele and a ponytail, and it's summer outside. I don't recognize this person.
You're almost a surfer, dude.
Yeah, I know. I meant to be this hyperactive goth. I don't know what the fuck's happened. Well, I do know what's happened. A partially cooked bloody cake is sitting. Well, part of it smoking out the bottom, but nevertheless.
Oh.
Well, you know when you're having a cake and then it goes down. Yeah, etc.
Sam BTW Carl, the joy of the dark room is it's always different and always a huge laugh. We'll never get bored of going to see it.
Thank you, Sam. Sam's lovely. So
and then says knee klaxon.
Knee klaxon. Yeah.
I'm with you now. Yeah. Okay. Crossing the streams, literally.
Love to talk to you, my friend.
Yes, I think we're going to call it that because I've got to get stuff done around the house and do another stream in a bit. It's been an absolute pleasure to fucking talk to you, dude.
Thank you, my friend. Take care. Good luck with the charity. You're kicking ass.
Yeah. No. Speaking of which, we need to do another hot sauce.
Do we?
Yes, we got on the donation, didn't we?
Was it specifically for hot sauce times?
Anything over $5 gets a hot sauce. And it was $57, so...
Alright then. Alright.
Let's do this.
It's going to be an appalling sight, friend.
Don't worry, you're building immunity up to this shit over time.
Have you? Alright then.
Well, parts of me have.
Alright, you all ready,
There you go, boys.
Here we are. Oh, delightful.
Oh, you gonna give us a song before you go?
Well, I was until I burnt the roof of my fucking tongue off. Anyway. No, why not? What do you want? What do you feel like?
Whatever comes to mind. Make it up as you go along, John.
Certainly. Righto. Hang on. Let's
freestyle, John.
Oh. Carolina Reaper creeping across my. Soon I'll be dead, and that'll be all she wrote. Why did we decide just because people donated We were gonna burn the inside. Now I've cremated my tongue, my lung, my back, my pussy, and my crack. I had become comfortably numb till I put that on. And you with your Carolina Reaper, let me tell you, I'm not having anything like that, of course. It may be orange, but dickhead, I've just been enjoying buffalo sauce. There you go, mate.
Very good. I'm going to really annoy you now, mate, because we've just had another one. From
good on you.
B76.
That's nice.
Throw another five right.
Well, in that case, fine. And you know what? You know what? I'm going to have this, and then I'm going to use those exact same chords, and we're going to do Smash Mouth All Star.
Smash Mouth All Star. Yeah.
Yeah, why the fuck not? But yeah, just in this kind of chilled summertime vibe we have.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it. Why not then?
Summer. This one's for you.
There you go, mate.
Enjoy.
All right then.
Oh,
fella.
That got stuck in the throat. That's gonna sting.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Here you go then.
Oh, you've got Pepsi to shift it. I've got bourbon that I'm not touching yet. Sun's over the yard arm here.
Wow, Jesus Christ! I mean, are you trying to fight fire with fire? I mean, bourbon will just burn it, but why not?
Possibly.
Hang on. I love.
Oh, there we go. We completely lost you then. What did you say, mate? Sorry.
I'm just saying these aren't the right chords for anything, but they work for everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody
once told me the world is gonna roll. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her fingers and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming, they don't stop coming. Wa-da-da-do, and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets sharp, but your head gets dumb. Hey, now you stop, yeah. Get your game on, go play. Hey, now you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. All that glitter. That'll do.
PBG says, have you ever thought of doing a cover in that style at Volstar and uploading to YouTube?
Pardon me? And uploading it to YouTube. I hadn't thought of doing a cover of like that until about 10 seconds before I did it. But yeah, sure. Also, yeah, I tell you something. Three hot sauces in a row. I'm getting something.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're getting a weird little contact high there. I'm not certain I like it. But yes.
Milk will crush it. All right, John, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. I'll let you go.
Thank you, my joy. You take care of yourself.
See you later, John.
Bye all.